Welcome to the first episode of I'm Glad You're Here. I'm your host, Molly, and today's episode is going to be a little bit about what this podcast is, who I am, what my intention in starting this space is, and essentially that. So kicking off, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is super exciting and something I've been toggling with for quite some time, but really just couldn't articulate what it would look like. I have been deep diving into psychology and spirituality. And what I mean by spirituality is our connection to self and our connection to the collective, whether that's universal energy, life force energy, source, God, collective. All of those are synonyms for the same thing, but anything outside of ourselves. So to me, spirituality is that self and that collective mentality. And so just playing in this space of psychology and spirituality, I've had the most in-depth healing and insanely incredible conversations with people. And I love to talk and love to converse, love to ask questions, and find myself to be a really open, curious soul. And the more I thought of creative projects and using my voice, I thought of this space as a really cool opportunity to learn and to grow and to heal and to share that opportunity with others. So to me, this podcast is a space to open these conversations of these beautiful weavings of how we can use spirituality in our day-to-day lives. At the end of the day, we are humans. We are in these finite bodies. So how do we maximize our experience? How do we create joy and meaning and hope and health in the most uplifting way? And I have found that a lot of that rests in this bigger than self space, this gray area, this spiritual wisdom. And so I'm aiming to kind of bring those tools into our space, into our humanness. Not an easy undertaking as there's so much going on. There's so many murky waters, and spirituality seems to be this really deep and in huge space. And so I'm working with collaborators in this space, whether that's a breathwork facilitator, a yoga nidra guide, a psychedelic therapist, a human design facilitator and guide, mentor. There are so many people and so many tools at our disposal, and there's so much amazing conversation to be had, and that is happening. And my goal and my intention is to open up these conversations, to share them with community, to create community out of this, and to really empower ourselves to heal. I think healing can be this really ugly word to us, which is so sad, but healing sounds like you're wounded, like you're hurt, like something needs to be fixed. And I think when we look at healing as something really profound, something really nurturing, something that helps us evolve and shift and grow into this higher version of ourselves, the next version of us, it's really beautiful. And so just like that, these conversations is a space to really evolve our thinking, really open up new perspectives, because that's all it takes is shifting what we see and finding that empowerment within it. So even in that word healing being this fixing and obsessive kind of energy can now be this beautiful, nurturing, soft, gentle guide. So that's what I hope to bring to the table with these conversations. I can't wait to dive into all these conversations. I've already started recording them, and I am just so fired up by them. And I know that it will reach the right people. And to stay connected and get all the updates, all the things, my Instagram handle is at I'm Glad You're Here, all one word, no apostrophes, nothing fancy. I know the name works a lot better for a podcast name than an Instagram handle, but to keep it simple, all the same letters. Hop on there, engage with the material, message, do what feels right with all this information. And I really hope to grow and cultivate a community from this. And my website that will be released soon, I hope, is Molly Rocklin, ROKLEN.com. So stay tuned for that. But for now, the Instagram will have everything. And of course, you're listening to this podcast on a podcasting site. So you can also leave reviews and comments here of any guests you want to hear from, or any topics you want covered, or any ideas you have. I'm all ears and really excited to hear back. So shifting gears into who I am and why I'm starting to have these conversations and give you a little sense of who Molly is. I am born and raised in Southern California, and I do currently live here. And so I am really grateful for a lot of the spiritual practices that are around me. I have meditation studios nearby, sound healing, and I've gotten a lot of exposure to these tools because of where I live. So I do feel really fortunate for that. And diving into me, I have 2 older brothers. I'm the youngest of 3. And a lot of my inner work has been healing this need to please others, to get external validation for my work, feel that I can't vocalize who I am and what I am, or I'd have to find the right people that could see me. And my healing process has been this journey of letting go of others' expectations, letting go of these external identities that really didn't mean anything to me. And whether that was getting laid off from work or turning down an engineering job, moving to a new city without knowing anyone, moving across the world without knowing that many people, starting grad programs, going through a lot of talk therapy, going through sound healing training and yoga nidra training, I've started to see how to shake off a lot of the conditioning that's been placed on me and covered up my own inner essence and my own inner wisdom, my own truths. And I would say before doing all of that, it felt like I was so numb to the world, and I had ideas, I had excitement, I was living day to day, but I was so not in touch with myself. I didn't know what a body scan was, what it felt like to feel sensation in my body, because I didn't think that was a thing. I thought we just needed to, use our minds and think through problems and think our way through. And if I'm learning anything in this process, it's dropping into the heart space for me is where a lot of my power lies, a lot of my connection to myself. And it takes a lot of work to get there. And so I want to call out that the reason for all of these conversations is because as a human, we forget how powerful we are. We forget how connected to divinity, to our inner light, to all this power within us. And we feel like we're victims to life's circumstances and our interactions with others. And we just constantly give our power away. My goal is to remind us of all the power we innately have in us and to shift those narratives so that you're the star of your movie, of your life. And that's okay. And you deserve to take up space. We are all worthy. We are all deserving. So all of these conversations, my goal is to really bring you back to yourself. And if that means one episode really, really resonates with you, another one, it's just not the right time or it's not of interest, that's okay. This is all a journey. This is all an exploration. And I also want to call out for myself. There's a lot of these tools that I have worked with, a lot of things I haven't worked with, and I continue to discover. And I want to say that for me, this is the coolest experiment, the coolest experience too, because I get to try alongside. I get to connect with incredible healers and educators and see the medicine they provide and understand when the right time to work with it is, understand if it's something that I want to invite into my life right now, if it's something that I want to share with listeners, and just know that there's a lot of inner work for me that is just going on as I unfold this project and as I record, as I post on social media, as I decide how to represent all of this information. So within everything we're talking about, the same thing is happening for me on the other end. I am here on this journey with you. The title of this podcast, I'm Glad You're Here, is just as much for me and the guest as it is for whoever's listening. We are all in this together. Without the audience, there's no one to listen to these messages. We're all supporting each other. And that is the feeling I want to evoke in this space. I'm glad you're here is sincere. I am so glad you're here. I am so excited for these conversations, and I am so grateful that you are listening. So with that, I'll be releasing episodes on Tuesdays. At least that's the plan for now, and weekly, and chime in with thoughts and ideas and excitement or whatever is coming up for you. This is a space for all of us, and a safe space, a loving space, an exciting growth opportunity. So whether you feel like you're just looking for more in life, you're mad at your boss, you're irritated with your partner, you're confused over any bodily sensation or mental struggle, and you just want to work through some things, give these episodes a listen, see what comes to you, and just know that you are your body's own wisdom. You know yourself best. So trust yourself, and these episodes will help guide you to build and strengthen that trust. It is a muscle, it is a practice, and it's something that we need to return to remember. So thank you for listening. I'm so excited for everything that's to come. And again, I'm glad you are here. Let's do this.